Is astrology a guide to aid us in mastering the universe? This is the Cosmic Community Podcast with Galactic Ambassador Stacey Dredd. Hey everyone, thanks for being tuned in to KPOV 88.9 FM, your high desert community radio in Bend, Oregon. I hope you are having a good day. This is Stacey Dredd, Galactic Ambassador in the Cosmic Community. That's our astrology program here Tuesdays 4:30 to 5 p.m., where we discuss the week's planetary and lunar influences, how we may be feeling the energies in our day-to-day, and also how we may be able to work within the cycles of the universe to create a more benevolent life for all. Thank you so much for making time and space in your day today to receive these messages. And as a reminder, you can access the archived program at kpov.org on the Cosmic Community Astrology's show page. You can also follow me on YouTube and Facebook, the Cosmic Community Astrology, and catch a rebroadcast of this program Saturdays at 9 a.m. So it's a fun week in the astrology. I get to come to you today here on the new moon in Aries, just fresh within the last 24 hours of the sun moving into Aries, which triggers, the springtime. And so we finally reached the end of that long winter that we had here in Central Oregon anyways. And it's spring. It's officially spring now. Those of you that hadn't heard the news yet. So that means that it's a turning point. It's a shifting point in the seasons. And because astrology is all tied into the seasons and the lunar movement, that's when we celebrate these little mini holidays also. And the equinox is absolutely one of these 8 holidays that we sort of celebrate in the astrological community, and also, in some of the more like earth-based, earth-based groups and tribes of people that kind of celebrate these other holidays based on the skies. And so it is a beautiful balancing point when we hit the equinox. It's the moment where there is equal amounts of light and darkness in one day in our 24-hour cycle. And so that is a balancing point. It is a really great place to sit and sort of take stock. What has the last 3 months, since the winter solstice, since December 21st, how have those last 3 months gone? And how are the next 3 months then going to be moving? And also, there's also the 6-month cycle. So from the last equinox that we had back in September 21st, how's that 6-month cycle gone? And then we have the next 6-month cycle that we are setting up for. And the Aries new moon and the spring equinox, the spring equinox itself, the movement of the sun moving into the sign of Aries, moving across the 0-degree point of the zodiac sign of Aries. It's actually the astrological new year in Western astrology. So happy new year, because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, represents new beginnings and fresh starts. And it's a very powerful, potent fresh start that we have this year in particular here, this new moon in Aries on March 21st. It is at the 0-degree point, and like I said, it's within 24 hours of the spring equinox, of the sun's movement into Aries. So it is just like this really beautiful, freshy moment. And so we've been talking a lot about about these shifting points coming up, this point here, March 2023. It's a big month in the astrology. It has been talked about for, years, literally leading up to it, and also, will be referenced as a shifting point, as a changing point, March 2023, as we move into the future, for sure, just because of all of the changes that are taking place here in the world of the astrology. We also have on Thursday, March 23rd, we have Pluto, the planet of Pluto, the furthest out planetoid, that some scholars now prefer to call it, but Pluto is still being an entity in our solar system and very much a strong representative of transformation in the world of astrology. Pluto represents transformation, the death and the rebirth cycle. Burning things down in order to build the new is what Pluto represents. And this week we have Pluto taking its shift into Aquarius. This is a thing that only happens once every 20 years. Pluto spends 20 years on average, in a sign. And so Pluto has been in Capricorn for the last 20 years, creating this overall kind of zeitgeist of transformation, like what we're going through, what is being transformed, on a world, on a societal level, but also on a personal level. But Pluto very much represents government and politics and resources that come from the ground, subterranean resources, root systems, things underground, hidden, deep, dark things. Pluto represents things that are sometimes feel ungraspable, sometimes feel like it's almost too far out there to connect with. Pluto is a subtle energy, and it's a really great one to embrace. And right now we have Pluto this week taking a huge step into Aquarius. Capricorn has been a very serious, ambitious sign, very much focused on career paths and legacies. Like the legacy that's being left on the world is represented by Capricorn. They take their jobs very seriously, what they're committed to, the career, the long-term career commitment of what we have to offer to the world is represented by Capricorn. And so we've been transforming in regards to those themes that I just mentioned of Capricorn. And now we are shifting that focus that Pluto has had and shifting that focus into Aquarius, which is an air sign. Capricorn is an earth sign. So we move into an air sign. We get more discussion. We get more movement. We get more change. We get more awakenings. We get just the windows opened up a little bit in regards to the work that Pluto's doing. Aquarius represents freedom, awakenings, revolution, revelation, change, sudden change. I mean, over the next 20 years, we're going to be working with this Pluto in Aquarius energy. And Pluto, of course, the planet of transformation, comes through and requires that area of the zodiac to make transformation. So Aquarius people, be aware that if you have a bunch of Aquarius energy in your chart, or whatever house it is that Aquarius is in your natal birth chart, that this is going to be where Pluto is going to be acting for the next 20 years on a societal level, but also on a personal level. So Aquarius represents the people, and it represents groups of people, organizations of people coming together for like-minded causes and finding tribal support, finding, those other people that are going to uphold those values with you. And so, it's an exciting time in our entire lives. I mean, Pluto, if it takes 20 years for Pluto to make it through a sign, and on average we live, 80 years, let's just say that, then we only see Pluto in the course of our life through 4 signs. Isn't that crazy? That's how slow Pluto moves. And every time that this planet moves into a new sign or a new area of the zodiac, we are experiencing something brand new, because the last time that Pluto did this was 245 years ago, which was the last time that Pluto had entered into Aquarius. So there's all kinds of astrologers who do very interesting work, and they do like this cyclical work, and they'll go back to like the last time that Pluto entered Aquarius, and they'll look at what was going on in the world, what types of transformations, deaths and rebirths, Pluto-oriented stuff was going on at that time, and what did Pluto, how did this kind of align with what was happening in the world and in people's lives and with people. And so that's very interesting. I mean, if you really are interested in seeing the impact that Pluto's had, at least in our ability to look back at written history, it's really interesting. You can look up the history of like Pluto transits and stuff in Aquarius, and it's really interesting. Another place to go with the astrology, if you need another place to go with the astrology. 444444444 on 3 of my clocks here in front of me. This is Stacy Dredd, your galactic ambassador here in the cosmic community, chatting this week's astrology, and we have even more. I mean, it is a big week. I've already mentioned the equinox. I've already mentioned the new moon, which I'm going to get back to the new moon in Aries a little bit, but I wanted to make sure to touch on everything before I kind of swung back around. And so this other day, the days of the weekend here, March 24th and 25th, are also busy days. This week does not disappoint. In the astrology, it is like moving and grooving, and this is definitely some of the biggest energy that we're going to see of this year. And the reason that I say that is because of the fact that at this moment in time, we still have all planets moving direct, and we have no planets moving in a backwards or retrograded fashion. Everything's moving forward in its full power, and so this is still this very active time of this year. Come April, May, and June, we're going to see all the planets go into retrograde motions again for many months. And so right now, this last couple of months, we talked about it back in January. That was like the springboard moment when Mercury left retrograde officially at the end of January. Or was it the beginning of February? Well, about that time, it was like, all right, here comes this 2.5 months period of time when it's going to be all about moving forward. But now we're almost at the end of March already, and we're going to be staring April in the face here soon, and these next retrograde cycles. So it's something to keep in mind. If there are things that need your attention and still need to be pushed into a forward motion, before we have these times when we're going to be actually going back and doing some more revisions. And the retrograde moments are beautiful for going back and taking care of fixing some things that maybe we went through a little too quickly during the time when all the planets were direct. So don't be scared. There will be plenty of time to go back and reorganize, refashion, edit all of the things that we've been taking all this great forward motion on. And this week, we see even more of that over the weekend. Friday, March 24th, is one of these days where we have the moon making a conjunction with actually 2 different planets, because Venus and Uranus are fairly close together. The moon moves pretty quickly 2.5 days through a sign. So Venus and Uranus are both sitting in the sign of Taurus, along with the North Node of Destiny. Venus and the North Node of Destiny are making a conjunction this week, bringing in fated moments of love and trust and things that we value. Venus represents all the sensual things in life, all of the things that bring us pleasure. We're having some kind of revamping, something coming into our life, the North Node offering, an opportunity to see things that need to come in. So maybe on Friday, we have an opportunity. It's like a glimpse. And the fact that Uranus is involved also, it could make this an even stronger, less of a glimpse and almost more of a lightning bolt, because that is the type of energy that Uranus brings in. And so Friday could be like some type of big realization around things that we need to bring into our life around love, value, things we value in our life, money. Money is also a deep, deep Venusian theme. So who knows? Like, this could be a week where we all see random surprise money just kind of come out of nowhere, or an opportunity to then be bringing more money into your life or something like that. So you can kind of see how I break it down, right? We got the North Node. The North Node is offering things, bringing things into our life. We have Venus right there close by, being the planet of love and money and the sensual and pleasurable things. And then Uranus being close by, causing things to happen very quickly and surprisingly, and as a kind of like a bright awakening moment. It's like the flash of light. And so these three planets being close together on Friday and integrating their energies could be very interesting for the Taurus folks, especially since this is happening in your sign. But also you can look in your natal birth chart, what house Taurus is in there and what area of your life, this is going to be happening in. So if you don't know what I'm talking about with the natal birth chart, that is a snapshot of what the planets were doing, where they were in the zodiac at the moment that you were born. And you can access that. And it's almost like a little mini map to the different parts of the personality that are represented in the astrology by the planets. And then the different houses represent different areas of your life. There's 12 different houses. And when different planets and things come into one area, as they are right now, we have a ton of Aries energy and a ton of Taurus energy. So this part of our chart is being lit up in the sort of basic parts of astrology and like kind of world astrology without looking at an actual birth chart. Aries represents the first sign of the zodiac and Taurus the second sign of the zodiac. Aries is all about the self. Aries is about me. Aries is about the ego. Aries is about figuring out your personality, who you are, what it is that, who are you? That is what Aries is all about. So there is a strong push this week, especially with this new moon in Aries, to find ourselves, to dive deep within our own psyche, within our own ego, within ourself, to be kind of selfish about this. Aries is probably the most selfish sign because they are just designed to be focused on themselves. And that is something that Aries has to offer us. We can focus on our own needs, what we truly want and desire, the person that we are. We find that person when we can really focus on this Aries energy. Aries is a cardinal sign, and it's also a leadership sign. So we can step up. We can really step up, take a leadership role, grab our own hand, right? And step up with ourselves, in whatever way that feels right for you. Taurus, being the second sign of the zodiac, is all about material possessions, resources, tools, gathering tools, resources, material possessions, money, land, resources. Taurus is about planting the garden and reaping the benefits from your own garden, but also about providing for yourself and for the people around you. Taurus energy and Taurus people are very, very motivated to provide for their friends, their family, themselves. It's a big deal to them because that is what Taurus energy represents. And this is a stabilizing energy. When Taurus comes in, this is like represented by the bull. And so you just think of the cow and the bull, with their head down, just munching on the grass all day, filling up their bellies with the resources that they need to survive and provide. And you see these animals living in large groups, and they aren't like Aries where they think more about themselves. It's like they're very curious about where the group is going, and they don't want to get separated from the group. So very interesting energies here. But you know what? We can't go to the group and share of ourselves for that greater community and help build the resources and help build, that stability without first having been to ourselves, Aries, having peered within our own self and souls and truly connected, with what it is that lights our fire. Aries is a fire sign. And so this new moon in Aries today is all about lighting this personal fire. I love it. I hope you all have wonderful equinox celebrations and new moon celebrations. It's a good time to embrace this energy and really, really figure out how we can move forward. With such strong, fiery energy, but also take it to the group, right? Saturday, March 25th. This is another big day of the week. You couldn't guess there was more big days of the week, could you? But this is the day that Mars is finally leaving the sign of Gemini and moving into Cancer. This is going to be a couple of months that Mars is in Cancer, so we'll talk more about this. But Mars will be moody in the sign of Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moon shifts signs every 2.5 days, and the moon sets the mood for the day. So if Mars is in the sign of Cancer and all the planets in that sign are ruled by the actual ruling planet, which is in this case the moon, our satellite, Earth's satellite, then Mars will be under this impression also while it's traveling through Cancer. So this could be a time when we might need to, the feminine, maybe support the masculine a little bit more, as Venus is still in a really great positive place in her home sign of Taurus. We can really offer up some of this energy over to our male counterparts or our masculine counterparts in our lives, and offer some extra support and understanding for the fact that they're going to be moving through a sign that's like a little extra challenging for them. March 27th, we have a conjunction between Mercury and Jupiter. This is the last thing I'm mentioning. Big communication day. I might come back to that one next week because that's pretty much going to do it for me this week in the cosmic community. You can access the archive program on kpov.org on the Cosmic Community Astrology show page. Follow me on YouTube and Facebook, the Cosmic Community Astrology, and listen to this rebroadcast Saturdays at 9 a.m. Thank you so much for being part of the community. Blessed equinox, blessed new moon. Peace. Thank you for listening to the Cosmic Community Podcast. More can be found at kpov.org/thecosmiccommunity.